Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of WVU Marketing Communications. We're live from the campus of West Virginia University. I think we're talking about Integrate here because it's the only campus where they integrate marketing, communications, and data all together here with our multiple hosts today here. Welcome, guys.
Thank you so much, Paul. We have a very special show on tap today because, as you mentioned, we are coming to you live from Integrate 2018 conference on the campus of West Virginia University in Morgantown. Cyndi Greenglass, whom all of you know if you've listened to the show, and I are co-hosting today from the Media Innovation Center Studios, which is also the home of WVU's Integrated Marketing Communications Online Master's Program, and also the Data Marketing Communications Online Master's Program. And it also serves this week and weekend as the hub of the Integrate Conference. Over the next 3 days, we will have more than 160 attendees, professionals, faculty, students. They'll hear from 12 different speakers, and we have attendees from more than 27 states. So an impressive conference, and we're happy to be here and bring you this show today. Today, we're going to be chatting with 4 attendees here at the conference, accomplished marketing communications professionals in their own right, instructors in WVU's online master's programs as well, to learn about their experience, the courses they teach, and what they are looking forward to most here from Integrate 2018. Cyndi will be with us after the break. So let's get right into it. I want to welcome our first guest today. And usually we're separated by hundreds or thousands of miles when we do these podcasts. But today, it's great to have the guest sitting 3 feet away, and that is Bonnie Harris. Bonnie is an IMC instructor from St. Paul, Minnesota, and founder and president of Wax Marketing. Bonnie, thanks so much for joining us today.
It is so great to be back in West Virginia and here at Integrate. I can't tell you how excited I am.
It is wild and wonderful.
It is.
Absolutely. Tell us a little about you and your background and some of your current work.
Sure. Well, for the past 15 years, I've run my own integrated marketing agency out of the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And we do marketing strategy and implementation for primarily B2B companies, a lot of e-commerce, IT, health IT, those kinds of companies. And, really kind of try to move with the industry as fast as it's going to incorporate all the new things that are coming up every day here.
And that's really a challenge.
No kidding.
It's changing more this week than it changed for years and years before that.
Absolutely.
So tell me about the course that you teach here in the IMC program and what the focus of that course is.
I teach IMC 610, which is the first class in the program. Okay. Our students come in from wherever they come from. Sometimes it's undergrad, sometimes it's from professional world, and they take 610 to really kind of learn how the program works, what IMC is all about, get kind of a meta level view of integrated marketing and communications, and really kind of onboard them into the program. Mm-hmm.
And what's the focus? What type of work do students do in that first initial course?
In that first course, it's kind of a mini campaign. Mm-hmm. The last course in the IMC program is Capstone, where they do a full campaign. But for IMC 610, it's really kind of a short, quick campaign where they can go from soup to nuts from beginning to end, learn how to identify audiences, learn a little bit more about segmentation, about goals, objectives, strategies, and measurement at the end. So it's a fast whirlwind of 6 weeks, let me tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been part of the program as an instructor, and you're also a graduate of the IMC program.
Right.
In your opinion, what's the best part of this master's program?
I think it's impossible to say one best part, but I can tell you that for me, it's been the ability to be in kind of a continuous learning environment. As I told you, marketing is changing so fast that it gives you the opportunity to stay fresh and new on every single topic and to network with people that you would never have met before.
Absolutely.
Like you.
Yeah, the networking is very powerful. Mm-hmm. And what's one thing, speaking of networking, what's one thing as you come here to Morgantown for Integrate, and we've been promoting Integrate here on the show for the last couple of months. What's one thing that you hope to learn from the Integrate conference and your experience here in Morgantown?
I'm really hoping to learn more about some of the digital tactics that some of our speakers are using these days. Because as you know, you work in digital communications. That's the part that I feel is moving the fastest.
Right.
So I'm really hoping to learn more of what they're doing to be effective in their marketing today.
And it's tough to keep up.
it's impossible to keep up. But being part of this community within the IMC program is one of the main ways that I do keep up and stay on top of it for my clients.
Absolutely. That's great. Anything else that you'd like to add?
Just that I'm really happy to be here. I'm excited to meet some of the students I haven't met in person before and to just hang out with my colleagues for the next couple of days.
Awesome. Well, we will see you around here at Integrate.
You will.
Welcome in our next guest. So thanks so much, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Our next guest is Dr. Larry Stoltz. He is also an instructor in the IMC program. He hails from Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Larry, it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Yep, I'm Dr. L to my students, Dr. Larry. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been teaching in this program for about almost 10 years. Mm-hmm. And while I've been in Atlanta, I've been with the Art Institute of Atlanta as the director of the advertising program there. And I run a consulting firm called Idea Tailwind. And so to get into that would take a while, but Idea Tailwind is a consulting firm where I work with small groups that want to solve particular problems or that want to learn ways of being more creative, more strategic, more conceptual, and find the techniques that will help them in their daily grind in their business, their organizations.
Excellent. What course do you teach here in the IMC program?
I teach IMC 615.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell us the focus of that course and how that really fits into the rest of the program?
It's called Creative Strategy and Execution.
Okay.
And it is a course it is a specialty course, and it is a course that we develop a strategy, and we write overviews, we write strategy statements, creative briefs, and then we design and create entire programs, campaigns. Mm-hmm. Starting out with traditional media, we will work in print, we will work in posters, outdoor billboards. Then we move into television and radio, and that has now evolved, obviously, into internet video and audio pop-ups. And then we move into social media, emerging media, and the most exciting thing we've moved into later toward the end of the course is emerging ideas. What are the trends that are coming up? And we always talk about virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, holography, and we end up with a campaign portfolio piece that the students can use to in their career development.
Wow, that sounds very relevant, regardless of as we move into digital and print and across all of the marketing communications tactics.
Well, keeping it relevant is the key. It's really tough to evolve that course every semester so that it is relevant. Like you said a while ago, what's going on this week is much more than was going on last week. So we have to know that so that we can be relevant.
But the principles of creative strategy have sort of remained the same over the years. The executions may be different, but those principles are certainly important. And students who take that course really get a good understanding of that, right?
And yes, and the process that I teach is that your right brain and your left brain have to combine in creative thinking and conceptual strategic thinking before you can do conceptual thinking. And so, it's a process.
And how long have you been involved with the IMC program as an instructor?
About 10 years now. Okay.
What advice would you give to students maybe who are considering a master's program or thinking, can I fit this into my life? What advice would you offer to someone who might be thinking of advancing and getting an advanced degree?
Becoming passionate and determined, and then you can fit it into your life. I know that I was teaching, and I have 4 grandchildren, and I got my PhD. It took a lot of energy, but I got it done, and then our students get it done too.
Excellent. In your time with the program, what do you feel is the best part of it? What differentiates the IMC program at WVU from others?
We purposely designed this program so that we learn from each other. The faculty come into many courses around the country teaching content, and I do too, but I come in with a thirst for content, and the students provide me information that I didn't have before, and I provide them information they didn't have before. So it's an interactive kind of environment where nobody stops learning. Everybody continues to learn every week.
And what's one thing that you hope to learn during the Integrate conference this year?
Integrate is going to help us all stay current, stay relevant. But I wanted to tell you one thing. I remember growing up as a kid, we had family reunions. And people don't really do that much anymore. And the thing that I like about Integrate is I get to come up here every year and have a reunion with faculty members and with students. Whether you're a student for 2 years or a faculty member for 10 years, you get to come up and share and be together and have a reunion that's extremely meaningful to your career and your future.
Excellent. Thanks so much for being here.
Sure.
We will see you around here at Integrate, and looking forward to that for sure.
Be here for 3 days. It's going to be great.
No doubt. We are going to bring in my co-host today, and that is Cyndi Greenglass. Cyndi's going to talk to 2 more faculty members here after the break, but it's an opportunity, and we didn't plan this. But we have a few minutes before we go to break, so I'm going to ask Cyndi some of these same questions. And Cyndi, what are you looking most forward to during this Integrate conference?
You know, this is a tremendous opportunity to hear terrific speakers, practitioners that are at the crossroads of some of the latest developments that are happening throughout marketing. And it's not often that you can be in one place with faculty that's amazing. The conversations that I'm having just with my fellow faculty on what they're working on and seeing in the industry, as well as the speakers that we have over these next 3 days. I just can't wait to hear the new things they want to share with us, innovations.
And we heard from Bonnie and Larry, and they are instructors in the IMC program. You are in the Data Marketing Communications Master's program. Can you give us a little preview of the course that you teach in that program?
Yeah, I'm a self-professed data geek. I love it. And I do tell my students in DMC, if you're not afraid of a little math and you want to dig into the forensic why behind why things happen, our campaigns, are they successful and why they're successful, then DMC's for you. We're looking at critical analysis and critical thinking and just digging your hands and getting a little dirty in some of the math and the numbers. So it's marketing and data combined together, kind of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
And so important nowadays.
Yes.
I'm jealous sometimes. I don't have that background, but I'm jealous sometimes looking at job boards, just seeing the number of opportunities for data and analytics and marketing data and analytics professionals. So keep up the great work there.
Well, thank you, Mathew, and it's a pleasure to share the microphone with you today. All right, and I'll be with you all after the break.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, Cyndi will be talking with 2 more Integrate attendees and faculty members here live from Integrate 2018 in Morgantown from the campus of West Virginia University. We'll be right back.
And since they brought it up, let's talk about it. West Virginia University's online data marketing communications program. It's the first graduate program to focus on data's impact on marketing communications, and we all know that's huge. Learn innovative strategies from award-winning faculty, like the people you're hearing from today, as you shape the future of marketing. Imagine that. You can do that and learn more at dmc.wvu.edu. That's DMC for the Data Marketing Communications Program at West Virginia University. And, of course, that's what we're talking about today. They're in West Virginia right now, kicking off I think they're right in the middle of it here, the Integrate Network program. Because we all know that marketing, well, it's more than ads and press releases. It's about building relationships. And that's what they're doing right now, connecting with other marketing professionals at West Virginia University's conference called Integrate. It's in Morgantown, West Virginia. It's going through the 4th of August here. And they're having all sorts of industry leaders in, as well as students and faculty from the program. Speakers like Cisco and Facebook, like ad agencies like Cappuccino and Fujikato. All that and more going on today. So if you missed it this year, be sure and sign up for the next one, because I'm sure it's coming back next year as well. The Integrate Conference going on at West Virginia University right now. And here to talk more about that is Cyndi Greenglass. Hey, Cyndi.
How nice to speak to you live from beautiful campus at West Virginia University in Morgantown.
And what's the weather like today in West Virginia?
Well, you know, we've had a few days of rain on and off, but it didn't hurt our spirits at all. We had amazing morning, zip lining, kayaking, and hiking in the beautiful outdoors. Yesterday we did team building, and we were going to do some low ropes, but I'm afraid of heights, so I'm glad that got put off. And instead we did some team building, had a gorgeous picnic, and now we're getting down to business. So we're going to Buckle down. We're going to have some great conversations here with a couple more of our faculty.
All right.
And,
so who you got with you today?
Well, today on the back half of our program, I'm very fortunate to have with us Professor Karen Freeberg and Mike Fulton, two additional faculty members here at West Virginia University in our IMC program. And I want to start by welcoming Professor Karen Freeberg. So, Karen, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Cyndi. It's an honor to be here.
Well, Karen is a faculty member here at WVU in the IMC program. Karen, you also have academic responsibilities elsewhere. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so along with my teaching responsibilities here at WVU in the IMC program, I'm an associate professor in strategic communications at the University of Louisville. So I teach everything from PR to strategic communications and social media. So it's a full plate. And in my free time, I write books.
In your free time, you write books. So what books have you been writing?
Well, my first solo textbook it will be coming out next week. It's called Social Media for Strategic Communications, Creative Strategies and Research-Based Applications. So it's a very hands-on textbook that will be launched for the fall.
Wow. Now, it's a textbook, but does that mean that practitioners and people interested in the subject matter would still be able to read it? And can they go on Amazon and buy it?
Absolutely. It's available in all different formats, online, textbook formats, for paperbacks and stuff. But it is a very hands-on, applied book. As I've told my students all the time, I'm not a typical professor. I am more of a research, applied-based professor. So I try to give students the tools that they need to be able to not only use social media effectively, but strategically to create an effective mindset.
So tell those of us who are not in academics, what does that mean to be a research applied professional as opposed to, a practitioner or, a clinical professor? Yeah. So what does that mean?
So what that means basically is I focused on addressing problems that practitioners are looking to get answers to. So I, of course, as a professor, have to use theory to go and base my research on, but I also want to look at what are the practitioners looking for to get answers to, what are some things that we can kind of explore to help them better their particular workplace environments through strategies, through crisis management, from public relations campaigns. So I really kind of look at my research for, the practitioners to see what I can do to help them out in helping them at least with some research.
I'm fascinated about you have students come into your classroom and you're teaching advanced concepts in social media. Do you have students who come in and say, oh my goodness, I am the social media maven and there isn't anything you can teach me that I don't do every day on social media. So what am I going to learn in this class?
I get that every time, every semester. It's gotten to the point where some of my students call me vintage, and I keep reminding them that vintage will never go out of style. But I also learn with them, and I love that even in the class that I teach at West Virginia, IMC 618, PR Concepts and Strategy, I view myself as not just only a professor that I'm able to share my experience and knowledge in the field, but I'm willing to expand the horizon and say, look, I can learn from you guys. We can all learn from each other. This is such a dynamic, agile environment that we're practicing and working in. We all have to be able to be a teacher as well as mentor others and help each other better understand what is going on in the environment.
Wow, that's great. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about what you teach at West Virginia University. So tell us again, what class do you teach?
I teach IMC 618, which is PR Concepts and Strategy. So that's the first course in the IMC graduate program that covers public relations. So the students are asked to create a PR plan for a client in 7 weeks. So they learned everything from what is public relations to actually fine-tuning the areas of specialization like crisis communication, social media. So by the end of the course, the students get an actual PR plan that they could use as part of their portfolio. So they basically have to go from start to finish. So the first assignment is usually pretty daunting for the students because it's all the background research. But by the end, you're like, I got this. I can totally do a PR plan in the future.
How long have you been teaching here?
I've been teaching since October 2009, so it's been a while, but I love teaching at West Virginia. It's been a great experience. The faculty have been tremendous, and the students have been truly inspiring. And I'm really excited to be here in Morgantown at Integrate for that very reason, where I get to learn from students that I had years ago in class. So the students are going to be teaching their professor a few things this week.
Since you have been teaching for, 8 years now, 9
Mm-hmm.
years now. What is one of the major changes that you've seen in public relations that's really telling, that stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, it's interesting, public relations has come into such a transformation state where we were pretty siloed, and where if you went to teach public relations and study public relations, that's what you did. Now is, okay, you need to understand marketing, you need to do analytics, advertising, you have the whole full spectrum of really understanding each of the different influences each of these other disciplines have on PR. And I love the fact that PR changes every day. I'm never bored. And I love the way that the students have kind of grasped and realized that we have to be agile and responsive to the ever-changing changes that we're seeing in the industry.
That's for sure. Here we are at Integrate 18. You drove here from Louisville, and we don't get a chance often to all be together here on campus. So tell me, what are you looking forward to learning or experiencing here?
I'm really excited to see all the presentations. I love the emphasis on stories. I'm really looking forward to Joe's presentation on Saturday, but I'm also really excited to see my former students present, Amanda, Paul, and Kim. So I'm going to definitely be a proud professor in the back row and just say they're, setting the world on fire with their knowledge. And it's really fun for me and very rewarding as a professor to see our students succeed, and they have all the tools and skills that they have learned in our program, and they're succeeding and being invited as premier guests at this wonderful conference. So I'm really looking forward to supporting them and cheering them on.
Well, have a wonderful conference, Karen. It's a pleasure speaking with you. And I'd like to ask Mike Fulton to join us now. Mike is joining us from D.C., and he is Director, Public Affairs and Advocacy at Asher, an advocacy firm in Washington. And you made the drive up, too, to Morgantown, so welcome.
Yes, it was a lovely drive through the rain and fog, but the sun broke loose when we hit Cooper's Rock and came into Morgantown. It was a beautiful drive. I love the hills. The country roads brought us back.
There you go. Brought you home, right?
Yes, indeed.
Well, so, Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I'm a native of West Virginia and a graduate of this university, so I'm really pleased to be teaching in the program. I teach IMC 638 Public Affairs, and we focus on how government can be an asset, not a liability, to a client or organization. Have a lot of fun doing that.
Well, I would think that all of us should take that class, because this could be relevant to all of us in our business and our work today. Government seems to get more and more complicated every day, doesn't it?
It does, and it's involved in everything we do, literally. The standards for the microphone and equipment we're using here is often led by government. The regulations of the food we eat, a lot of government's involved in everything. So it's important for people to be have a seat at the table. We often say that if you're not at the table, you're probably on the menu.
Oh, goodness, that's a good way of putting it. So let's talk a little bit about this class. So that's a big topic to cover. Break it down for me. What is the 8 weeks? What kinds of how do you tackle such a large project? That's a large topic.
Well, it's very exciting in doing so. The first thing we need to do is make sure that everybody's on the same playing field and understands the impact of government in our lives and how it affects our organizations. Then we need to we move it into how to move the needle and move audiences to make decisions. There's a lot of intersection with traditional public relations and public affairs, in that some of the same tactics are utilized just a little differently. Instead, we're trying to impact policymakers or regulators in government. They have a big microphone. When the president tweets or a senator tweets or makes a speech somewhere, it makes news. Being in that speech or being involved in that dialogue is good, unless they're taking aim at you. Then you need to have crisis communications. So we really cover the gamut and try to build that bridge between marketing and communications, the traditional activities, and bring a layer of government into at all levels, local, state, and federal, so that people can understand how government can be an asset, not a liability. We also spend a good bit of time on ethics, because public relations and communications professionals are often under the radar screen in times of crisis. We're often called upon at the very onset of a crisis to be involved. So the ethical ramifications and how we handle that's really important.
Are most of your students in government or working in the Washington area?
We have students from all over the country, and they may be in local government, working at a fire department. They might be at a water board. They might be working on Capitol Hill or in a state agency. We have a number of journalists that are in the program take the course, and they add a lot of value and a different perspective to the course, and I really enjoy that. We actually had, last term I taught, we had one student actually transition from the media into state government because of the course and what she learned through the course, and it was really exciting to see how people grasp government opportunities and see the value government can provide and add into their campaign.
Well, we're going to wrap up here in just under a minute, so I'd like, Mike, for you to share with us. We're going to go out there and enjoy, Integrate 18. What are you looking forward to as we kick off the next 2 days?
Well, the best part is the people that are here and the people that we will hopefully bring into the program and make it more rich. The faculty is tremendous. I am not an academic. I'm a working practitioner in public affairs, so being able to teach and share what I do is really exciting. But seeing all the faculty here and, again, exchanging ideas is tremendous. Seeing students that are in the program and graduates of the program and what they're doing. One thing that really impresses me is how many students and graduates of this program are now teachers in the program. That really says a lot about this program to students that are in the program now and those looking at it.
Great. Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Bonnie and Larry. This is just a taste of 4 of our 30 very qualified faculty here. We're going to be kicking off our welcome reception with a keynote from Jim Copacino, co-founder of Copacino and Fujikato. I know that Paul has been working on that name for this agency.
Yes,
for
I have, and you confirmed that I'm saying it correctly here. Okay.
You are. So live from West Virginia University, we say goodbye to you from this week's installment of WVU Marketing Today. Have a good day.
You've been listening to WVU Marketing Communications Today, brought to you live from West Virginia University, a bi-weekly program that sits at the intersection of data-driven decision-making and marketing practice, only on the Funnel Radio Network, for at-work listeners like you.